everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today I'm going to go over all the books I like to read in March for my March TBR. I'm also participating in 2 readathons. One is a month-long readathon, which is Realmathon, which is run by Cassie from Covers with Cassidy, and she has a bunch of other hosts that are hosting for the different teams. Then the other readathon is a week-long readathon going from March 17th to the 23rd. It's called the Backlist Readathon, and the hosts are Jackie Wheeler and Layla. I forget. I think it's Layla's Bookshelf or Layla's something. I will be linking them in the description too if you want to check out this readathon they're doing. It's only for about a week. And they have different prompts that they came up with where you can fit in books for that week. And I'm going to try and do as many of them as I can. Now we'll get to those prompts momentarily. But first, I'm going to talk about my buddy reads and my book club books that are must-reads for the month. First, we're going to go with the all-important Fiction Falls book pick for the month of March. I'm excited because we unintentionally picked a book with a green cover. And it worked perfect for March because St. Patrick's Day, the color is green. So for Fiction Falls, we are reading Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. Just from Honest Fiction, absolutely loved it. So I am very much excited to see if everyone is going to love this. Book. At least I'm hoping. And we will be doing a live show. I will keep you guys posted. I will also link in the description our Fiction Falls Instagram, so you can follow up on all the details. We haven't picked a date for the live show yet, but Dana from Dana Ella will be co-hosting the live show with me and Clint. We can discuss all things Fear the Flames, and I am so excited. And then the other book club book that I'll be participating in is the Thrills and Chills book club, also run by Dana from Dana Ella. And we are going to be reading That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley. And I heard nothing but great things about this one, so I am very much excited to give this one a go. And the last book club is the Screening Readers book club, run by Dana from Dana Ella, Karina from She Dreams and Words, and Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. And they are a romance book club, and their pick for March is The Ex Vows by Jessica Joyce. I'll be listening to this on audio. It'll be my audiobook for the month. And I am very much excited. It's my first Jessica Joyce book. And it sounds really, really good. And I am very excited to give that one a go. And then I also have some buddy reads. First off, I will be buddy reading Rebel Wish by Kristen Sicarelli, which is the second book in the Crimson Moth duology. First one is Heartless Hunter. Absolutely loved it. I'll be reading this with Lindsay from She Is Booked and Busy. And I am very much excited to continue it. Lindsay also really loved the first one. So I'm excited that we are reading this one together. It's going to be a blast. I cannot wait. And then the next buddy read I am doing is with Amanda from Fiction Addictions. She also had this on her TBR, and I asked her if she wanted to buddy read it. So we're going to be reading this one together. That is The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song. This is a Mulan retelling, and that is all I know. And I think it's romanticy. And I am very excited to read this with Amanda. I hope we both love it. It sounds really, really good, and I cannot wait. And my last buddy read is with Anna from The Liminal Season. And we are buddy reading The Road of Bones by Demi Winters. This one has been on my radar way before anyone started even reading this book. I have been aware of this book for quite some time. But I also haven't heard the greatest things. I've heard very mixed reviews on this one. And it's also very chunky. There's a lot of pages in this one. There's like, let me just check on the pages because there's a lot of them. I think there's like 539 pages, so it's quite a big book. But I am excited to read this with Anna. I hope we both love this book. And I love this cover. It is very glossy. So I love that. I love it for me. So that is my Buddy Reads and book club picks. And now I have a whole bunch of possibilities for Realmathon. Like, a ton. Oh, wait, I forgot. I do have another Buddy Read I forgot to mention. Let me talk about that real quick. That is Babylonia by Costanza Casati. I am buddy reading this with Ash, who's on the Monarchs team with me in Realmathon. We both decided that we both wanted to read this. So we will be reading this one together. And I'm very excited. Plus, these sprayed edges are so pretty. And the map on these end pages are also really stunning. And it's going to be a part of a video that I'm going to be working on for March. I want to do a taste test video on this author. So not only will I be reading Babylonia, but I'm also going to be reading Clytemnestra. And I think this will be perfect for Realmathon. So I'm very excited for that. Another book that I also really want to read for Realmathon is Lady of Shadows by Melissa K. Roach. I just read the first book, Lady of Darkness, in February. Really enjoyed it, and I want to see where the story goes. So I figured I'd continue the series for Realmathon, and I am psyched for that. And another book I also really want to read and continue, since I just read the first book back in January, is The Night is Defying by Chloe C. Penaranda. The Stars Are Dying is the first book. Read that one, gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed it. And now I'm interested in following up on the series and seeing how the story goes. And those are the ones that I absolutely want to get to for sure in the month of March. I have a whole bunch of other possibilities I also would like to read. But first, before I get to those, I want to go over the prompts for the Backlist Readathon, which is run by Jackie and Layla. They have 5 different prompts. So I'm going to go over those super quick and tell you what I like to read for those. The first prompt is a backlist with mostly green on the cover. And I'm guessing backlist would have to be something that's not from this year, that I think was published last year. And I'm pretty sure this book was published last year. And it has green all over this cover. Oh yeah, it was originally published in 2022, before it was traditionally published just last year. I figured this would be perfect for green on the cover. It would be my own book club book, Fear the Flames. So I figured that is perfect for that prompt, and it'll be close to probably when we're going to have the live show. It'll be fresh in my mind. So I am definitely very excited to read that for that prompt, for sure. And then the next prompt we have a backlist with the best sentence out of 3 options. So I got to pick 3 books and read the first sentence in each of them, and then pick a book based off those. So let's see. Maybe I could find some short ones? Could I maybe throw in That's Not My Name? Let's check out the first sentence in that book. Chapter 1, Girl. Day 1, I think I might be dead. Okay, that is an interesting first title. That's a possibility. What else do we have? I also would like to get to. All right. Here's another book, The Starlight Air by Amelie Howard. See what the first line in this one is. It's the prologue, technically. And it says, tens of thousands of years ago, when the realms were racked by 100-year war between Pharaoh and Saru, the twin gods of death and creation, a magi of the Ichor of Akasha in his veins, and the runes of power etched onto his skin, appeared to safeguard the world of men. That's a long line, long first line, and it doesn't quite catch my attention. But we could go with one more possibility and then pick between those three. Let's see. I would really like to read this. That's The Forest King's Daughter by Ellie Blake. Let me see what the first line in this. Zeru closed his burning eyes, reeling as always from that first shock of brightness as he pushed his face above ground. It's an interesting first sentence, but it doesn't grab me right off the bat. The Starlight Air one sentence didn't grab me right away. But That's Not My Name's first line was, I think I might be dead. So I think I'm going to have to go for That's Not My Name for the best first line out of 3 options. So I think this is the one I'm going to use for that prompt. So far we have Fear the Flames and That's Not My Name, which is 2 required reads, which is great so far. And then the next prompt we have for the Backlist Readathon, a backlist that matches your current emotion. A current emotion. What is my current emotion? I don't feel like I have an emotion at the moment. I mean, I'm excited. Would that count? I am very excited for a lot of these books. But I don't want to do super long ones because I don't get to them in that week. Let me think. What book actually matches my current emotion? At least something out of my required reads, maybe? Is there anything that's short enough to fit for that week? I mean, it's only 1 week. I don't want to do a super long book. What about The Night Ends with Fire? I am kind of in a retelling kind of mood. Let's see. Am I feeling The Night Ends with Fire? Hey, even the first line of this one says war is coming. You know what? I think this could work for a book that matches my current emotion. Because I'm really excited to get to this one. And I mean, I'm excited for a lot of these books. But this is one I've been wanting to get to since like last year. Let me see how long this book is. It's 410 pages. Let me look at a couple of other books that are a little bit shorter that could probably fit. This is a paperback. Paperbacks aren't usually super long. Let's see. This book is like 350 pages. That's not too bad. Let me look at this book. What? I also really want to read this. $376 pages for that one. What about this one? 384? I want to try and fit in shorter books for the weekend. I mean, for that week. I could get more read. You know what? I think for a book that matches my current emotion, I think I'm going to go with The Starlight Air by Amelie Howard on that one, just because that week I'll probably will want to be reading some shorter books that are not so long. So I think this could work. So we have 3 books so far for this readathon. The next prompt, the Otis published Backlist on your TBR. I was thinking for this one, I would do a reread, actually. Because I wanted to reread this series anyway, and then I found out it was published in 2009. So that's kind of old, considering they're in 2025. So I'm thinking for that, we'll do The Hunger Games. It was originally published way back in 2009, even though this copy itself is more updated with illustrations and stuff. But because I know the story and it's really big writing and there's illustrations, it could go by really, really fast for me. So I think that could work for that. So I think I'm going to do this for the oldest on my TBR, even though it's a reread. And then the last prompt is a backlist a friend wrecked many times. And so for this one, there's a reason I'm picking this one, because all of my friends have been telling me to read it. And I only read the first 2 books. I was not crazy about the second one, but they've all read this one and loved it, and I keep hearing about it, so figured we might as well. So I'm going to try and fit in Wisteria by Adeline Grace for that. And it's not too super long. And there's epilogue. Let me see how many pages it actually has. I mean, it's not super, super long. I mean, it's about the same length as, like, probably around The Starlight Air. It's like almost 420 pages, 419. I think I could fit this in that week. And there's only 5 prompts, so this is the last prompt. So I think I could fit Wisteria in for a rec that's been given to me many times. So I think I'm going to fit this in for that. So these are the 5 books I'll be reading for the Backlist Readathon. Takes place between the 17th to the 23rd of March. So for those, I'm going to be doing a reread on The Hunger Games, reading my own book club book for Fiction Falls, Fear the Flames, and then we'll have for Thrills and Chills, we have That's Not My Name, and then we have The Starlight Air, for a book that fits my emotion, and then we have Wisteria, for a book that has been recommended to me several times. But I do have some more possibilities, besides the ones I've already gone over, that I would like to try and get to in March. Doesn't mean I will get to every single one of these books, but I'm going to try and get to as many as I can, and we'll see what happens. I will be vlogging my time over Realmathon, as well as doing a separate vlog for the Backlist Readathon, and see how that goes. So here are some other possibilities I also would like to try and read. We have Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields. I've heard great things. Well, I've heard great things from one person, not so great things from another. But I did read another book by this author recently and enjoyed it. So I think I might enjoy this one. So I'm excited to try this one out if I could get to it in March. And then another book I'd like to try and get to in March if I can is A Scorpion Queen by Mina Fears. I heard nobody talk about this book yet, but it seems right up my alley, and I'm very excited to give this one a go. And it's actually not as long as I thought. I might be able to get this in rather quickly. Cool. So this is one book I like to get to. And then another one I like to try and attempt to get to is Guild by Raven Kennedy. This is also on my 13 Books from 13 Friends challenge, and I would love to knock this one out, which would be amazing. I've heard great things about the series as a whole. I've heard this one is the weakest of the series, but I've heard as you keep going, it gets better. So I'm excited to give this one a go. And then another book I would like to try and get to if I can is Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. This was actually a gift from Just Romance Fiction, and I have heard really good things about it. So I am very excited to give it a go myself and hopefully like it just as much. So I'm excited for that. And then another book I'm going to try and get to if I can is The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is also on my 13 Books from 13 Friends challenge that I would love to try and get to. Actually, I don't think this book is that long either. How many pages is this book? 324? That's not too bad. I think I could get this one knocked out pretty easily. So I'm excited to finally try my first Trisha Levenseller book. So hopefully I could get to this one as well. And then another book I like to try and get to if I can is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong, however you say that. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I haven't heard a single complaint about anything concerning this book. So I am very excited to try this one and see if I love it just as much as everybody else does, because people have been raving about this. So I am very excited to give this one a go as well. And I have a few others I'd like to try and get to if I can. We also have A Kingdom This Cursed and Empty by Stacia Stark. I started this book like last year and only read like 86 pages and I never went back to it. So I'd like to try and go back to it and actually finish it so I can continue the series. I love the first book and I would love to try and finish this out and do that. And then another book I'd like to try and get to if I can is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. She is slowly becoming one of my favorite authors, and every book I read from her, I've really, really enjoyed. And I have been wanting to read this since it came out. Plus, the hardback itself, absolutely stunning on the front and on the spine. So I would love to try and get to The 13th Child in March if I can. If I don't make it in March, I like to try and drag it into April because I want to make this a priority before the summertime if I can. So I'm very excited to read this one. And then the next book I like to try and get to if I can is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. There was also another duology of hers that I have that I haven't read. I forgot to bring them out. But I have King of Scars and Rule of Wolves and Language of Thorns by her. And there's a whole bunch of us in my team's Discord that are going to try and read a whole bunch of her books. I want to try and get to some more, to read more of her books so I can finally catch up. I know this is her newest release, and I would like to try and get to this one because the main character in this one is Jewish, and I'm Jewish as well, so I'm really curious to see how this one goes. So if I could try to get to this one, that would be amazing. And if I could get to King of Scars and Rule of Wolves and Language of Thorns, that would be great too. And then another one I'd like to try and get to, if I can, is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. I read the first book, really enjoyed that one. I think I ended up giving it a 5-star in the end. Because it was feeling like a 4-star for a while. But that ending threw me for a loop. So that's why I gave a 5-star. But I really want to continue the series. I did not like six First Roses. That novella in between the first and the second. I did not like that at all. I gave it 2 stars. But I want to try and continue the series anyways. So if I could get to this one, that would be amazing. And I would love to continue in the series. And then another book I'd like to try and get to, if I can, would be The Half King by Melissa Landers. From my understanding, it's a retelling of The Sandman and Beauty and the Beast, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a couple of retellings put into this book. Plus, it has beautiful sprayed edges. And these end pages are also really, really pretty. And then this actual hardback is also stunning. I love the gold foiling. But if I could get to this book, would be great. Because ever since I heard about this book, I've been really wanting to read it. And I bought it last year and still haven't picked it up. But I would love to be able to get to this one. And I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I really want to try it for myself and see what I think. So hopefully I could get to this one in March. And then the last book that I have as a possibility for March is The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. I saw Cassidy from Courage with Cassidy read this book, and she enjoyed it for the most part. I think she gave it like 3.5 stars. But I've heard there's a lot of political things going on in this, which is perfect for one of my bonus prompts for Realmathon. So I would love to try and throw that in. It says, Kate Golden blurbed it and said, a master of the spicy slow burn. Plus, his cover is stunning. I love this cover. So, and it says inside, it's a fake marriage meets enemies to lovers, which is a couple of my favorite tropes. It's a start to a duology, perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout. And I really love both of those authors. So I'm very excited to give this one a go, and I'm hoping I will love it. And that is all the books that I would love to try and get to in March. It's quite a lot of books, let me tell you. Can I even count? Probably not. But I do have my TBR set at least for the Backlist Readathon. So these are the ones I will definitely be reading during the week of the Backlist Readathon. Will be these ones. And then we also have my buddy reads of Rebel Witch, Road of Bones, and where's the other one? Oh yeah, The Night Ends with Fire. So The Night Ends with Fire, Rebel Witch, and Road of Bones will be my buddy reads. And then we have Fear the Flames for my book club. That's Not My Name for Thrills and Chills. And the X-Vows for swinging readers. Everything else is just a possibility. This is a lot of books, so I don't know if I'll read them all in March. We have a lot sitting here to the right of me. There's a lot of books. But I'm going to attempt to get through as many as I possibly can. I will try my hardest, for sure. And that is all the books I hope to read in March. Have you read any of these? I would love to hear your thoughts. If you got this far, I would love for you to drop me a flower for Wisteria, since all my friends have been telling me to read it. So drop me a white flower if you find one. If not a white one, just any flower you could think of. And that is all for my potential March TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you on the next one.